Hello, brothers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 9 clear signs your wife might be a toxic woman. Brother, not every man who gets married finds happiness. Some men aren't betrayed through infidelity but through emotional manipulation, through silence, and through being controlled every single day. She makes you doubt yourself, apologize for things you didn't do, and question your own reality. That's no longer love. That's a psychological prison wrapped in sweet words. And if you see yourself in the signs I'm about to share, then it's time to wake up before it's too late. Once again, here are 9 clear signs your wife might be a toxic woman. Now, let's get straight into it. The first sign and the most dangerous one is when she makes you doubt yourself. She denies what you see, calls your feelings unreasonable, tells you you're imagining things, and that you're overreacting. Every time you speak up, she flips it around, turns it on you, and makes you feel guilty even when you've done nothing wrong. Slowly, you start believing that maybe you are too sensitive, maybe you are the problem. That's gaslighting, the psychological manipulation that makes a man lose trust in his own mind. When you no longer trust your emotions, your memories, or your intuition, she gains total control. She can lie right to your face, then convince you that you remembered it wrong. She can laugh at your pain, then say you're just overreacting, and you stay not because you love her, but because you're afraid of your own thoughts. Brother, remember this. When someone makes you doubt yourself every day, that's not love anymore. It's an invisible prison, one that steals your confidence, your truth, and eventually, your very self. The second sign is when she starts controlling everything in your life. She wants to know where you are, who you're talking to, where you're going, what you're doing, and if you don't answer right away, she gets angry, cries, or punishes you with silence. She calls it caring, but in reality, it's control. At first, you think, she's just worried about me, but slowly, you realize you no longer have a choice. What you wear, what you eat, who you meet, where you go, everything needs her permission. She wants you to live by her rules, and if you don't, she twists everything until it becomes your fault. You start shrinking yourself, afraid to make mistakes, afraid to upset her, and that's exactly when she owns your mind. A toxic woman doesn't need to lock you up in chains, she just needs to make you believe that if you don't obey, you'll lose her love. But brother, remember, real love doesn't need control. If you have to sacrifice your freedom to keep someone, that's not love, that's dependency disguised as care. The third sign, she isolates you from everyone, slowly pulling you away from your own world. She doesn't like your friends and always has a reason to say they're a bad influence. She gets upset when you visit your family, or makes you feel guilty whenever you want to spend time with anyone other than her. At first, you think it's just normal jealousy, but in reality, it's a strategy of control. When she makes you drift away from the people who used to give you advice, those who helped you see the truth, you become lonelier, weaker, and easier to manipulate. She wants to become the center of your entire world, so every thought, decision, and emotion you have must go through her. And one day, you'll realize you have no one left to talk to, no one to trust, just her, and the fear of being abandoned. Brother, be careful, because isolation is the manipulator's most powerful weapon. Once you're cut off from everyone, you lose all strength to resist, and that's when she completely controls you. The fourth sign, you are always the one at fault. In every argument, big or small, you're always wrong. No matter what happens, she always finds a way to turn herself into the victim. If you stay silent, she says you're cold. If you speak up, she says you're rude. There's no way to make her happy, because her goal isn't truth, it's control. Every time you apologize, she grows stronger, and you grow weaker. Over time, you learn to endure instead of standing up for yourself, because you're afraid of losing peace, afraid of hurting her feelings. But the truth is, she's using emotion to manipulate you. She wants you to believe that if you just try harder, everything will be fine. Yet the more you try, the more drained you become, because she doesn't want resolution. She wants victory. Brother, remember this. When a woman makes you apologize just to keep the peace, not because you were wrong, that's no longer love, that's surrender. And when you apologize just to avoid conflict, it means you've already lost yourself. The fifth sign, she disrespects your boundaries and your consent. She doesn't understand. or chooses to ignore, the word no. When you want to rest, she says you're being distant. When you need space, she accuses you of being cold. She shows up everywhere, interferes in everything, and wants control over even the smallest details of your life. You say you're tired. She still forces you to listen. You ask for quiet. She turns it into your fault. And slowly, you lose the right to say no. She makes you believe that if you truly love her, you must always be available. But brother, love never means obedience. When your boundaries are erased, respect disappears too. A woman who truly loves you will listen when you say, "I need some time." A toxic one will take it as an insult. She doesn't care what you need, only what she wants. And when someone treats your boundaries like a joke, you're no longer the man in that relationship, you're just a tool for her emotional satisfaction. The sixth sign, financial control. This happens when she starts taking full authority over the money. It's not just about household expenses, it's about total power. She asks how much you earn, keeps all your cards, checks every expense, and says, "I'm just helping you manage better." But in reality, she's stripping away your freedom. Every time you want to buy something for yourself, she makes you feel guilty. Every time you spend on someone else, she makes you feel afraid. Gradually, you find yourself asking for permission to use the very money you earned. Brother, understand this. Finances are power in a relationship. When she controls it all, she can make you stay even when you want to leave. She knows that if you walk away, you'll have nothing. That's not partnership, that's control. A woman who truly loves you will build with you, not hold the money over your head to make you bow down. So if you find yourself asking for permission just to live like a man, then maybe you're no longer the husband in the house, you've become the dependent one without even realizing it. The seventh sign, she never stands by your side, she doesn't support you, not even when you're at your lowest. When you're tired, she judges you. When you fail, she criticizes you. And when you need encouragement, she stays silent or worse. She uses your pain as a weapon in the next argument. Brother, a woman who truly loves you will walk with you through hardship, but a toxic woman won't. She's only there when things are good, when she benefits, when she feels comfortable. The moment you fall, she either watches or walks away. You start learning to stay quiet, afraid to open up because every time you do, you get hurt again. Slowly, you stop sharing altogether. And that's when she wins because you've stopped believing that anyone could understand you. Brother, a loyal wife fights beside you. A toxic one leaves you to fight alone, then blames you for losing. Remember, if she's only there when you're strong but disappears when you're weak, she doesn't love you. She only loves the feeling of being next to a successful man. The eighth sign, she treats you like a tool in her life. She no longer sees you as a human being, but as a means to an end. You're not the man she loves, you're the provider, the problem solver, the source of stability she craves. Every compliment, every hug, every sweet word has a purpose behind it. She does things for gain, not out of affection. When you help her achieve something, she smiles, but when you no longer serve that purpose, she turns cold, even contemptuous. In her world, everything revolves around me. She wants admiration, attention, and to be seen as the perfect woman, and you're just the pedestal that holds up that image. She loves the idea of love, not the man in it. Brother, that's the kind of woman who drains you until you feel like you're never enough. But the truth is, you're not the problem. You're just with someone who doesn't know how to love anyone but herself. The ninth sign, she slowly makes you lose yourself. This is the most painful one when she gradually erases the man you used to be. In the beginning, you were confident, full of life, full of dreams. But little by little, she changed you. You talk less, smile less, and think twice before saying anything, afraid she might get upset, afraid she might get angry. You no longer live as yourself, but as the version that pleases her. She makes you believe that only by doing what she wants can you be a good man. But brother, the moment you have to suppress your true self just to keep the peace, you've already lost your masculine soul. She extinguishes the light inside you, then blames you for being dull, for not being the man you used to be. That's the paradox of a toxic relationship. They destroy you, then blame you for being broken. And the cruelest part, you still try, because you think love requires sacrifice. But the truth is, Real love doesn't ask you to die slowly inside to be loved. It helps you grow, not disappear. When you have to trade your peace just to keep someone from leaving, that's no longer love. That's imprisonment disguised as sacrifice. Brother, the truth is, you can't save a toxic woman because she doesn't believe she needs saving. The more you love, the more she controls. The more you give in, the more she takes. And one day, you'll wake up, look in the mirror, and realize the man you once were is gone. All that's left is tired eyes, an empty stare, and a heart that's learned to endure pain. But remember this, brother, silence isn't strength, and endurance isn't love. Sometimes, walking away is the only way to save what's left of yourself. A real man isn't measured by how much he can tolerate, but by knowing when to stop. Choose peace, not the battlefield. Choose self-respect, not fear. And most importantly, never beg for love from someone who uses love as a weapon. Because in the end, what you need isn't a perfect woman, it's someone who lets you remain yourself when you're with her. Brother, if what I've said today resonates with you, maybe deep down, you already feel like you're no longer yourself in that relationship. Don't ignore that feeling, because a man's intuition never lies. It's the voice of your inner strength, buried under too much tolerance. If this video made you think differently, if it made you pause, even for a moment, to look at yourself again, then hit subscribe. This isn't just a channel about women, it's a place where men rediscover their value, reclaim their peace, and learn to love without losing themselves. Share this video with another man because sometimes one honest message can save him from a relationship that's quietly killing his soul. And remember, sometimes walking away isn't weakness, it's the only way to become yourself again. See you in the next video, brother, where we learn to love with reason and live with self-respect.